right-footed copy. Oh! Bang! That one goes down. Champions! He takes that chance. Aguero!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Sports Fans Network. I am the CHALL, Burton Albion of Part Company with head coach Mark Robinson, and today we're going to talk about it in this video. So before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into this one. Brewers fans, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and let's get on with the club statement to start off this news update. So as Burton Albion fans will know, the club released an official update, and it says the following. AS owners of our football club, we have always vowed to be open and transparent. In our first 5 months here, we have implemented wholesale changes. We know it's not possible to get everything right, particularly when there is this amount of change taking place. But we felt such a transformation was essential now to build the type of culture and structures required to allow the club to flourish for the long term. We know that the responsibility for club performance falls on us, and we must explore every means possible to improve our situation. Every day we learn, and we are regularly evaluating everything we do to ensure we are always doing our best to improve and move forward. We accept that results and consequently our position in the table are not at the level any of us want to expect right now. In recent weeks, we have maintained an open and honest dialogue with a wide range of senior staff in our sporting departments, including our head coach, Mark Robinson, to address the performance of our men's first team. Following further lengthy and detailed discussions in recent weeks, we've agreed that Mark Robinson to make the difficult decision to part ways with immediate effect. Benedict Heride said, during our time working together, we've all got to know and appreciate Robbo, which is why we have a great regret over the fact that this has not worked out in the way any of us would have wanted. We have to be objective with our decision making, and we feel we've reached a point where a change is necessary to improve the team's results. We believe we have a talented squad, and we remain committed to our football strategy. Now is the time to regroup and look to deliver a positive season for our fantastic supporters. We thank Robbo for all of his efforts, and he will always be welcome at the Pirelli, and we wish him the very best of luck for the future. Mark Robinson made the following statement, saying, "I'd like to thank everyone at Burton Albion for giving me this opportunity, all of the staff for their support during my time here, and a special mention to the supporters who stuck with me and the team throughout. I wish nothing but the best for all of you for the remainder of the season and beyond." Now, the story is that the assistant head coach, Tom Hounsell, has agreed to step in as interim head coach until a permanent succession is confirmed, with John Brayford, Jake Keane, and Elliot Axtell continuing in their current first team roles. So before we talk about who I think would be a good shout to replace Robinson at Burton Albion, let's first of all talk about the fact that Robinson is now gone from Burton Albion. Obviously, like I said before, Brewers fans, comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comments section of this video. From my perspective, I've sort of read about, I've seen what people have been saying. Some people are on the balance of, with so many new players, with a brand new manager, there's so much time to try and gel together. It's one of them where, do you give it time or do you make the change? And you know what? Fair play to the Burton board, because they've gone, you know what? Yes, we've signed a load of players. Yes, we've spent all this money. And yes, we've got this new manager in, and it's not going to take forever to gel. However, when you're 11 games into the season, and we're nearing towards the end of October, start of November, we're nearing towards the January transfer window, which is where the business end of the season starts to pick up. Even this early on, to be bottom of the league with no wins the entire season is still very alarming, even at this early stage, and show a change was probably needed anyway. And it's nothing on Mark Robinson. I think he's a good head coach. I've seen his previous work. He's a good head coach. And I feel like he was trying to swim in a pool of piranhas, and he just couldn't get out before being bit on the backside. So for me, I'm sad for him. At the end of the day, a manager's lost his job. A head coach has lost his job, which is never great. It's a cutthroat business, football. It's a cutthroat industry. It's a beautiful game, but it's a cutthroat game. and I wish Robbo nothing but the best from personally, from my perspective. But at the end of the day, if you've not got no wins all season in the first 11 games, and you've got a board like Burton who've just come on in their first full season, I think it is, and they want to take Burton Albion back to where they were years ago in the Championship, for example, long term, at the end of the day, they can't get relegation in their first full season. They just can't. And yes, it's early on in the season, but 11 games in is still early enough to make the change. Other managers have gone way before that. So for me, I think from a results-based perspective, it was the right decision in terms of long-term over short-term, style of play over results. I think it was probably heading towards that way anyway. I think they suffered a 3-2 loss to Wickham last night. It weren't great overall. I did manage to watch the highlights back this morning. It weren't great. So for me, I think that the news was inevitable anyway. Nothing against Robbo at all. I think the news was inevitable anyway. So Burton fans will look for a change. The new manager will come in, analyse the squad, see who he wants, see who he doesn't want. January comes around. I don't think there'll be too many movements for Burton in the window in January, but depending on who goes out, there'll be enough movement to secure a team that might stay up in League One this season or try and stay up this season in League One, and then move forward next season to try and get, a team that long-term will be ready to challenge towards the top end of League One. Because League One's a very competitive league this year, albeit bar the, I'd say, first place maybe, because Birmingham look like they're going to walk it at the minute. So, for me, I think that Burton will need to plan long-term, but also get the results short-term. And that's what's important about bringing in a new manager. Now, in terms of the new manager, there's one particular name that I've got in mind for this particular job. And his name is a name synonymous with Barrow fans. And you might know who I mean. It is the one and only Pete Wild, the former Barrow manager. And I've seen a few people suggesting his name about as well. From Pete Wild's perspective, you think of how he's going to manage, you think of how his style of play is, you think of how attack-minded he is in terms of as a manager. And I feel like his style of play suits Burton Albion to a T. I think that for me, Pete Wild would suit that team well. I think he's got quite a bit of money to play with as well in future windows. I think that he's a manager I have respect for. We know Donny fans have interacted with Pete Wild in the past. No comment there. And I think that Pete Wild's a good manager. There's no doubt Pete Wild's a good manager. Yes, it didn't end so well at Barrow. They went on a downward spiral. They lost the playoff spot to us in the end. So, we can take a bit of credit for that. But in all seriousness, no, he is a good manager. He just, he had success at Halifax Town. He had relative success at Barrow in terms of getting Barrow to where they were, obviously being a non-league club, and now they're in the Football League fighting amongst the top dogs, and now Stephen Clements has taken over that whole project and trying to push Barrow further, into potential League One candidates for the future. And like I said, I think Pete Wild is a really good manager, and I do think that he has the ability to win trophies. And ultimately, the aim of the game, let's not forget, it's not just about a good style of football, it's about winning trophies. And, getting results. You might have to scrap the last few minutes of a game and change and go a bit more pragmatic to get a result. And that's what you need to do to be a good manager. You need to be adaptable. You need to be versatile as a manager and as a head coach. You need to have a set style of play, but also have a plan alongside that style of play to gain those results. Obviously, the ultimate aim is to win trophies, get promoted. The ultimate aim of the game is to be promoted and win trophies. So I think that Pete Wild has the potential to take Burton Albion to become trophy winners. In terms of trophies, obviously we're not talking about the big league titles like the Championship, etc., and things like that. But for me, Burton Albion is a contender for potential promotion into the Championship in the future if they spend the money right. They've got the potential to win the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. They've got the potential to go far in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. and obviously the league as well, like I said. So I think Pete Wild for me would be the ultimate appointment if we're talking the big names. Barry Murphy is another one. He's, ex-Rochdale, Manchester City under 21s as well. He's someone who I have a lot of respect for as well. He's a manager I have a lot of respect for. Someone who I feel can bring a decent style of football to Burton Albion, sets up with the 4-2-3-1, plays really good at front foot attacking football. He'll have a good list of contacts from his time at Manchester City, Rochdale, all throughout the Football League. I think he's got a decent amount of contacts, and I think that he's someone that I'd like to see given a chance in the Burton Albion job. And to be fair, he's someone that I wanted as a potential shortlist when we sacked Richie Wellens, when we sacked Guy McSheffrey, when we sacked Danny Schofield, before the Grant McCann interest came up in the news. And he was someone that I did want, and I know a few other Rovers fans wanted at some point as well. And then you've got another choice in Damien Duff. Very, very passionate man. Of course, ex-Chelsea player. He's a very passionate manager. You see that from the highlights. You see that from the clips after games when he's managing Shelbourne in Ireland. Obviously unproven as a head coach or a manager in England, but I think he's got the potential to be that. And he's someone that I would seriously look at. If you have to pay a compensation fee, fair enough. You pay the compensation fee. Burton's got the money. It's not cashless Burton Albion anymore. This is Burton Albion who have got this takeover. They've got this new board. They've got the money to back them up. That want to take Burton Albion to where they were years ago in the Championship. So, for me personally, I think that Damien Duff is definitely an option. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Brewers fans, who do you want? Do you want Barry Murphy? Do you want Duff? Do you want Pete Wild? Who do you want? Comment down below. I'll reply to every single comment as I usually do. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this video. Stay tuned because we've got a couple of match reviews coming today as well. We've got some Europa League action with Braga against Bodo Glimt. And we also have a late evening kickoff in the Champions League phase with Manchester City hosting Sparta Prague. We also have action in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League coming up tomorrow. We've got a couple of games from there. We've got Fenerbahce versus Manchester United as the late kickoff in the Europa League phase. In the Europa Conference League phase before that, we've got Vikingur Reykjavik FC hosting Cercle Bruges. So stay tuned for some European football. And for now, I'm the CHALL. Ta-ra for now. And that is full time here on SFN.
Right foot to copy.